Hey world, what's going on? It's Saturday, the 9th of January, and 2016 is already off, rolling. Crazy year already. What a heck of a year, already. We've already lost already. I mean, it's like, it's on my mind, so I'm just going to, talk about it. We've already lost Lemmy. We already lost Paul Bley. We just lost Pierre Boulez. Nice tribute to him, Ron. I watched your video, Ron Anderson. My CDs are overflowing, so I couldn't find my Boulez CD. I got to meet Pierre Boulez after seeing his 80th birthday concert series in Chicago. Well, I guess it was 10 years ago, because he was 90 when he died. And there was you could buy merchandise, and then, you could, afterwards, you could, get it signed by him. And there was this big line, and it was really formal. And, I trust my gut. So when it was my turn, I got up there, and he was signing it, and everything was fine, and it just seemed okay. So I just said, hey, man, what is it? Can I take a picture of us, And he brightened up, It was like, sure. So I go around the table, and security guards come rushing at me like they thought there was some kind of trouble. It was great because Pierre Boulez noticed them, and he did this, yeah, get out of here, If I remember to, I'll add the picture to the video so you can see it. I had it as my Facebook picture for a couple days there. Music is just so important, and Boulez as a conductor, and I believe he was a composer as well. I primarily know about his work as a conductor. I know he worked with Frank Zappa. I think I have that album. I didn't look to show it for the video, but what I would say is, for me and for my generation, the one before it and the one right after it, we're at that period in time where, because of our age, just naturally people are dying, and it gives you pause gives you a cause to pause and think about things. To be honest, one of the deaths that has been the most affecting to me has been Lemmy. That's like the end of an era, in a way. It's like the changing of the, I don't know if it's the changing of the guard, but it's like Lemmy really was a larger-than-life figure. He was truly a real celebrity when it comes to music, but that's the wrong word. He was a dude. He was just... I wish I had tried harder to meet him when I saw Motorhead. I just didn't wait long enough. I don't like the bus waiting. I like to catch people inside. But, I don't know. His passing just, it's like, time marches on, and he was just one of those dudes. Well, besides that, I had a very nice, present arrive from Brazil. A watcher and musician by the name of Rene. Can't think of his last name right now. I will put a link to his SoundCloud page because Rene is from Brazil. Apparently watches my videos and told me a while back through an email that he'd like to send me some music, and he did. And I really appreciate what he sent. These records are probably very common down in Brazil, but here you don't see these. In my area, you'll see like, well, for example, he sent me a couple Dorival Caymmi albums. These are like compilations. There's some duplication of songs on here, because apparently what these are, it's like Dorival Caymmi was like, kind of like Lemmy to rock. And I can't speak with authority here because I don't know, but my understanding is that Dorival Caymmi is much loved, and the voice of Bahia. Is that correct? But I really appreciate these because I don't read Portuguese, but these are like made by the music. What does it say? Música Popular Brasileira. So it's like it's a cultural thing. You know, these things are like important for upholding culture. And so I like this one because the record is a 10-inch and on the RCA label, which is pretty cool. Because I've been recording and producing and mentoring, I've barely played these yet. I put them on. One was sealed, so I opened it to play it. And I'll have to be in the mood. I love his voice and the feeling of this music. I can't speak with any authority about it. I just know I love it. Matter of fact, I was getting it really wrong for a while. His son is named Dereck, and I first encountered Dereck's music, fell in love with his voice and that melancholy type of music, romantic music that he sings as well as his dad. And as I was getting familiar with him, I thought there was only one. Then I discovered that Dory is Dorival's son. But even more on top of that, which is ultra cool, I'd go and get the album to show you, but it'll take me too long. Dorival has made some wonderful albums, and one of my favorites is called Brazilian Serenata. What's ultra cool is my friend and music partner, Carol Rogers. That's me and Carol there from a promotional pic from last year. Carol is one of the backup singers on Dereck's album, Brazilian Serenata. Carol's voice is so distinct that I can actually hear it amongst the voices behind him. I love that little trivia fact, you know. He also sent me this, another one in the Música Popular Brasileira series. This one is cool because it features a duet between him and Carmen Miranda. This is a very nice package. It even comes with a like a mock-up ticket to a Tom Jobim concert. That's kind of cool. That was in here. Once again, big history about the man, several pages book, color pictures. Obviously, the man is a treasure to Brazil. And the other one he got for me is Dorival Caymmi #9. And again, this is like a compilation. There's repetition of tracks on all the albums. No big deal. Love. Renee, thank you so much for sending me these. Wonderful music, wonderful history. The type of thing that I would be lucky to find it locally, you know, for any price at all. So these are highly valued. Thank you so much, Renee. I'll leave a link to Renee's SoundCloud page because he's also a musician, electronic musician. I've only listened a little bit, but his latest stuff is ambient and it's beautiful. Renee, your stuff is good. It's good. In other news and in music news in general is my part-time job. I knew that this would happen eventually, but you know, I work out of my home testing electronics for a company that is based out of China, and I just knew eventually I would need to do some of the testing. Requires a smartphone. This has been my phone for 10 years or so, just a little LG. And so sure enough, they got a hold of me right about Christmas time and said, we have this testing that we need done. You need a smartphone for it. So I got a smartphone. It's refurbished, not new. It's a G4, not a 6. A Galaxy S4, but I have one now, which is cool. But how it relates to music is, you know, Bowie has a new album. Let me close this. Black Star. Bowie's new album just came out on his birthday. What was it, yesterday, I think? And it's freaking light. I like it. I like it a lot. Let me just see if I can adjust this while we're watching. Get a little bit of, yeah, so it's not so dark. That'll do. Ooh. That'll do for now. Anyway, I don't have the new Bowie yet, but I have it on my phone, Black Star. And I like this new Bowie well. The Next Day is quite tepid compared to the new album. And it was almost like he was using The Next Day to kind of get warmed up to back to really creating. The new album I like a lot, Black Star. I do want to get it on vinyl. Hope to get it on vinyl. Good album. Good album. To keep talking a little bit about music, it just popped in my head to just say thank you. Thanks, folks who continue to watch me, even though it's very intermittent that I watch videos now. And it's just a few folks that I've been checking in on. Thanks for hanging with me, folks. I'm glad that my videos are of value to you. Thank you. On the turntable, because I have not been playing mini records at all, I've been recording and writing and busy with the mentoring. And but last night I listened to Theme of Secrets by Eddie Jobson. Eddie Jobson, violinist, keyboardist who was in UK, Roxy Music, Curved Air. He's done a lot of things. This came out on the Private Music label at the height of New Age music freak out in the 80s. And so this was presented as a New Age title. But that doesn't, again, I hate that title, that term. And this is a gorgeous instrumental album, just beautiful. I think the cover does it justice. Those colors and those shapes, very fitting of this music. One of my favorite albums. I love this album. Side 2 in particular. Pull this. I haven't played this in a long time. Played the whole album because it's just one of those records. It's just so good. Traffic, the low spark of high-heeled boys. Always love that cover too. You know, the shape of it. Mine has Cat Damage and Just Right Quick. This album actually was inherited from a friend of mine who died of cancer in 2000. And we'd been friends for a long time. And told his daughters, you know, to make sure that Dereck gets some of the records. I didn't get first pick. But this was one I got in. I forget the cat's name, but man, that cat tore up some pretty cool records. Thinking about Bowie's birthday yesterday, I played this. Scary Monsters, probably my favorite Bowie album. I probably play this more than any other Bowie album when I think about it. I just like this album. I like the way this album moves, the way that this album is programmed. It keeps me listening to it all the way through. I like this more than Low, even though Low is the one that we talk about. I like Scary Monsters better. Anything else here right quick sitting down here? Haven't had any sales in a long time. I still have records available. Flyover, I still have vinyl copies left. I had a visit yesterday with the director of the Bemis Art Complex, and they've been very supportive of me and continue to dialogue. I don't have any ideas about how I can use the Bemis this year, but I appreciate their continued interest. And I was just kind of showing the director some of my history, so I had my Digital Sex album out and showing this to him. He's not originally from Omaha, but he had heard about this. Even before he started to investigate me, he knew about this band, which I thought was ultra cool. As we had said, Paul Bley died, and this I played since then. The others I haven't gotten to yet, but it's very true about his touch and about his, as Carm said in his tribute video, his pacing. Paul Bley's way of expressing things is not in a hurry. It's not showy. It's very grounded in what is it I'm trying to say, what is it I'm trying to express. Paul Bowie was a monster musician, just monster. And okay, some other things still sitting out. I was going back, getting into this band after reading about them in Record Collector magazine. I believe they're Scottish, Clouds, and it was a three-piece organ band that, according to history, was very influential. They never got their due. This is good, but it was rushed. The album was not made well, so you can hear that, but you can hear the talent of the band, all three members. Apparently Keith Emerson of the Nice got his rocking the organ and slamming it on the ground from this guy, Billy Ritchie, seeing him do it first. Vincent Crane from Crazy World of Arthur Brown and Atomic Rooster apparently took notes watching this band. And who was the other? Robert Fripp, King Crimson. There's a story in the Record Collector about him showing up at an early Clouds gig and having a conversation with the band, and sure enough, I can hear the continuum. Clouds, good stuff. Glencoe. This makes you think of vinyl record Jeff White, who I haven't seen for a long time. Jeff was in the vinyl community. We made videos together for a time, and then he met someone. I haven't seen him since. Not a complaint. I could have predicted it. And some people are just like that, you know. What are they really looking for? You know, they're looking for someone. When they find them, everything else disappears. I'm happy for him. But he gave me this album years ago, Glencoe, because I had their second album, Spirit of Glencoe, which I really like. And this one, it's been sitting for a long time because every time I look at the cover, it looks like it's going to be country, and I forget. I put this on. This is really good. It's a blend. It's actually pretty funky, you know, UK country, funk, rock and roll mixture. It's really good. Of note, the bass player is Norman Watt Roy, who was in a band before this called The Greatest Show on Earth, and afterwards with Ian Dury and the Blockheads, who I got to see him play live with Ian Dury. Amazing. Yeah, Ian Dury blew Lou Reed away. I saw Ian Dury open for Lou Reed, and Ian Dury stole the night. The only reason why I didn't completely steal it is because I was seeing Lou Reed. You know, we're seeing Lou Reed, you know. This is really good. Glencoe. Really good. Really good. Really good. Had this out and was playing, this is a double. Pretty Things, double package of SF Sorrow and Parachute. It's well known that SF Sorrow, probably one of the very first rock concept albums, inspired Pete Townshend to do Tommy. But I was listening to Parachute, which is more just rockin' and boogieing, but it's really good. Great band. Dick Taylor from this band was an original member of the Rolling Stones. Technically, do I think... Doesn't matter, but I just want to say it. Technically, the Pretty Things and the Stones, who started about the same time, this is a much better band, technically. Much, always have been. Better players overall. One last thing. At Christmas time, my good friend Randy LeMasters in Pittsburgh, so kind to me, sent me a Christmas present of a little bit of money. I don't expect these things. It's always a gift. And I know he when he could back in the past, he would send me records for Christmas. So I went ahead. I basically try to use all the money I make now just to make sure I have enough money to keep living, paying bills. But I went ahead and bought a couple of used records. And one is this. I had been looking for this for years and found it at Almost Music recently. I was so happy to find this. Stanley Cowell Trio, Illusion Suite. Pianist. With Stanley Clarke on bass and Jimmy Hops on drums on ECM. Fantastic date. Just fantastic jazz. Stanley Cowell. Fantastic. Fantastic. And I'll show the other one that I found, because it should still be sitting out. Yeah. Spooky Tooth's first album. Have I shown this? I don't know, but this was another one I got with the money I got for Christmas from Randy. If you happen to watch this, Randy, thank you. But Spooky Tooth's very first album, U.S. pressing on Bell Records. That alone was enough for me to want to get the record, and it was less than $20 too. Spooky Tooth have made several albums. British band that comes out of, I think, a blues foundation. So a lot of what I've heard by Spooky Tooth over the years, I haven't really liked too much, but I was surprised how much I liked this first album, actually. I like this, Spooky Tooth. Okay. Alrighty, 20 minutes. Really don't have anything else to say in regards to things in general. Just, how can I end this positively? Because I really do believe that, okay, I will. I'll go a little bit further. So what I've been watching lately, because I'll go through periods where I'm not playing records at all. I'll be making music, listening a little bit on my devices, and then watching documentaries mainly. And the latest thread that I've been on has been learning more about quantum mechanics, quantum physics, exploring more this train of thought and theory about us and life being basically a virtual reality. Dr. Rupert Sheldrake, I've been watching him and checking out his ideas and his research. Tom Campbell, and what these folks say, the way that they put things resonates with my experience. That's what I want to say. Morphic genetics, so the idea of consciousness not being in the brain, but being a field, and the brain being a receptor. That it makes so much sense. There's just so many things that we experience that validates it, but science doesn't. Like, for example, when you get a call and you tell them, I was just thinking about you, or the way that birds fly in flocks and they just, like a wave, they move and turn, and lots of things like that, where you get an intuition and it turns out to be right, where it's like we have this evidence that we're part of a larger consciousness, and yet due to Newtonian physics, we still think of the material world as individuated. But this idea of quantum mechanics being a field, being a part of the field of potential realities makes much more sense to me. And the idea, I love Tom Campbell's talk, because he talks about the organization of life and how love really is of the highest order, and how we live in fear versus love on this planet. Look at the wages of fear. And I like how he talks about how love produces the lowest amount of entropy, okay? It just makes so much sense, which is why the world looks so crazy to me, and why I cannot take politicians and a lot of talking heads and public leaders seriously. They all look like complete idiots and selfish buffoons, especially in the light of what makes sense to me. Not because these people have said it. What they say resonates with what I've been experiencing and thinking all my life. It's always evolving what I'm understanding about living, but just wanted to share that, and how that affects my worldview, that it really makes sense that we are one thing, one field of consciousness, and it would be wonderful if I could experience a paradigm shift in the world where this information starts to become disseminated in a way where it's like, okay, we're done with being selfish bastards and operating out of fear so that I can have everything for me versus you. We'll step it up to the next level where we realize what's good for one is good for all, and we start to make some changes where we can set things up where we work together a little bit more. Stuff that's been on my mind. Have a great day, everyone. Or whenever you see this, be well.